Disney really has this innate ability, an incredible ability to hire maybe the worst, most unlikable humans alive. And in every interview that comes out, we see Rachel Zegler, who is the star. By the way, she is a Latino woman. You may be confused because the story is called Snow White, and she's clearly not white. That may confuse you. That may, you may be confused when I say Snow White and you see a Latino woman, but this is the era where Ariel, the white mermaid with orange hair, was also a black woman. We are truly in the bizarro world. Now, of course, they changed these roles because, quite frankly, as much as they may wish to gaslight you as a viewer, their whiteness, the whiteness of these actors and actresses is viewed as something inherently bad that must be changed. This is the truth. Snow White as a white actress is inherently bad. Ariel as Little Mermaid being white, inherently bad. They fixed the problem by making them anything but white. And you have this Rachel Zegler who just will not, her pie hole will not close. Hating on Snow White. This is like, it's I don't even understand. It just keeps getting worse and worse. The new Snow White says Prince Charming was a creepy stalker and suggests that all scenes of the prince should be cut out. She is a walking PR disaster for Disney. I've seen people tweet out, "I'm going to cheer against this movie." Like this is worse than Brie Larson. These aren't some old interviews either. This is what this woman is saying right now about the character she made millions of dollars to play.
You know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Everything old is bad.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Oh, he courted the woman. Therefore, he was stalking her. And as she looks at the camera.
Weird.
Weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no Prince or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah.
She hates him. Guaranteed she hates all men. She hates this movie. She hates the story. She literally cannot help herself. She literally cannot help herself to be as unlikable as possible.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not...
It's really wonderful that it's not a love story, because love is bad, and she will be forever single, and it will be love's fault, not hers.
She finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. I mean...
All of the princess scenes could get cut. It's Hollywood, baby. Here's another clip. Disney picked a Latina woman who hates Snow White to play Snow White.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures.
I mean, she literally hates it. Like, I don't even understand. It's so wild. Like, just her face. Here's from Vera Dark. Rachel Zegler admitting she didn't like Snow White growing up, saying she had only watched it once before getting the role is so sad to me. Out of millions of women who love the character, care about the story, and this is what we get.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something...
She's so hip and cool, guys. She's so Gen Z. She's so cool. Everything old sucks, and everything new is awesome.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
She deserves to get paid for every minute somebody streams it. It's her time down here. It's her time. It's her time down here. Rachel Zegler has shown what many are calling a deep disdain for the story of Snow White, morphing one controversy into a new one, and now Halle Bailey is getting dragged in. Here's the deal. We already know folks have been outraged about the forthcoming Disney reimagining for months now, whether it's because of Zegler's race or because they didn't cast many dwarves on all fronts. The live-action remake has been called woke by some. Now, new anger is taking shape this weekend, as it all has to do with resurfaced press remarks Zegler made back in September, almost a year ago. Okay, so it was a year ago, so therefore she didn't mean it when she said it? In a Q&A, which again was several months old, again, they keep saying, well, it's old, so it doesn't matter. These are, brought to you by the same people that will cancel a high schooler for tweets that they tweeted when they were 8 years old. Zegler confesses have only seen the OG Snow White once as a child and not liking it because she thought it was scary. Says she never watched it again. After seeing anew, it sounds like Zegler was turned off by what she saw. The way she described the cartoon, it comes across as dated and perhaps even regressive for women. That's certainly how Zegler views it anyway, and she's made that clear in fierce terms. The problem, it seems, is her attitude towards the old Snow White, kind of bashing it, has turned people off. And it's not just conservatives either. What? There are a good handful of seemingly normal women who are speaking up and rolling their eyes over Zegler's take. Here's somebody rolling their eyes right there. One user put it, some elements of the 1937 film, not to mention the original German fairy tale, are still appealing to certain women even today. As you can see above, she laments the, quote, girl boss trend that some feel is being pushed by Hollywood these days. In short, the women argue that some ladies still want to be saved by Prince Charming. Enter Halle Bailey. Press interviews she was doing last year in the lead up to Little Mermaid also being resurfaced, and they're being compared to Zegler's clips. There are a lot of interviews Halle did at the time when she talked about how much she loved The Little Mermaid growing up and how much influence Ariel specifically had on her Disney princess. Basically, Halle was a big fan of the IP and sounded grateful to give her own portrayal, which by and large have been praised. Despite the loud haters. Look, I don't have any problems with Halle Bailey. I don't know her. She didn't say anything offensive. She didn't say all men bad. She didn't say, women bad, or they didn't say anything, wild. She just happened to be black, and we know that Disney hired her because she was black. Now, obviously, she's also good at her job, and she can sing, which is important for the role. But it's a wild thing to compare the two. Now it's like all the people that had a problem with Halle Bailey are probably wondering, what the heck? I'll take Halle Bailey all day and twice on Sunday, because really, at the end of the day, a lot of people just want these actors and actresses to respect the IP, to respect the original source material. And you see this, Rachel Zegler is officially Disney's new Brie Larson. I mean, she's far more unlikable than Brie ever was. Since being cast as Snow White in the upcoming live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Zegler has received endless flack from Disney fans and non-fans alike. Well, I mean, what's interesting about this one, what's interesting about her feedback is that everyone hates her. We're coming together, reaching hands across the aisle. Everyone hates this woman. Y'all swore up and down that we would never let the hate that Brie Larson got happen to another actress, and here we go again with you losers bashing Rachel Zegler for asking for fair pay and wanting to play Snow White as a more proactive heroine. No, she just doesn't like the story at all and views her rendition of it as fixing it, as fixing something that is broken, which most people don't view. Are there things that are outdated in the film? Probably. I don't know. I'm not a big Snow White guy. But I will say that this inherent opinion of people to call things a problem that need to be fixed, these interviews, by the way, are literally way worse than anything Brie Larson ever said or did. Like, it's not even close. This woman just seems completely unlikable. And we've already heard a lot of, interesting little nuggets where Disney may not even want to put this film in theaters because they're afraid it's going to be another colossal flop, like almost every movie they've put out. Now, Little Mermaid maybe broke even, but when you spend $500 million, breaking even is a huge L. They've had several other movies lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Indiana Jones looks like it's going to lose $200 to $300 million. It's a wild time. They may just put this on Disney Plus, which would be a chef's kiss. It truly would be, because it seems like Zegler would absolutely deserve it.